The New York Knicks young core is ready to explode. A few nights ago versus the Indiana Pacers, Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, and Obi Toppin all went for 30 plus, showing that they need to be recognized a bit more. But it's not just those three guys making up the Knicks young core. There's plenty of other young guys who are super talented waiting to break out, and a lot of these guys have been proving themselves all season long. How's it going, my friend? I'm Alexander from Load Management Media, and today let's talk about some of the players that I'm most excited about in the Knicks young core and what makes them so talented and interesting moving forward. Quentin Grimes at 22 is already proving he can be one of the most valuable 3-and-D players in the entire NBA. In his second season in the NBA, Grimes is averaging 11 points and 3 rebounds, shooting 47% from the field and 38% from 3. Grimes has been the perfect complement to Julius Randle, another 3-and-D player who can knock down shots and play elite defense when he needs to. He's also shown the ability to get to the rack, and his handle and playmaking is also quite improved. He's a ridiculously underrated athlete too. He's thrown down some pretty nasty dunks that I think should get a bit more recognition. You can tell that he's actually quite polished because he spent 3 years in college already, but he's still super young, which is a rare combination for guys coming into the draft and doing well in the NBA. And although he's been a great 3-and-D player, he's shown he can be a great two-way star, not just a 3-and-D player with his athleticism and shooting ability. You can tell that there's definitely a little bit more there than just a 3-and-D guy. If Grimes continues to improve his shot creating and handle moving forward, he's going to be dangerous for the rest of the league, and there's a reason why the Knicks didn't want to include him in any trade packages. Emmanuel Quickley is already one of the best spark plug bench players in the NBA, but oh my goodness, he can be so much more than that, and we've seen that a lot this season. This season, IQ is averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 45% from the field and 37% from 3. Quickley had a slower start to the season, but he's gradually made his way into the sixth man of the year conversations, and it looks like he's the favorite, rightly so. After a really good rookie year, he had a little bit of a down year in his second year, but since then he's been gradually weeding out the inconsistencies in his game. He's developed his scoring and he's become a bit more consistent, knocking down more of his threes, and he's figured out a little in-between game with his floater, which is up there with some of the best in the NBA. He can also play both sides of the ball, something his coach Tom Thibodeau is in love with, and he's improved his playmaking as well, which can make him much more of an interesting proposition moving forward to lead a team. Unfortunately, right now, in terms of him making himself into a star, he's in a tough position behind Brunson, but he's excelling either way, and once he hops into the starting lineup, every time he always shows that he's extremely talented. And there's no doubt in my mind he can definitely be a lead guard on a playoff team and eventually move into that all-star caliber type of player. Man, when it comes to RJ Barrett, it's the same old for him. Y'all know what happens every single year. I'm not even going to read out his stats because it seems like the same thing happens every year. Apart from year 2 where he was more efficient, since then his numbers are just pretty much the same with just a bit more volume. RJ right now is way too inconsistent scoring wise. It seems like every time he just wants to barge his way to the rim and he thinks he can score every time. But it doesn't work like that. He's got virtually no playmaking ability. His jumper is extremely inconsistent, and his shot selection is it's horrid. It's unbelievable to watch. So that's why some games he goes a cool 5 of 17, and then the other game he'll go like 14 of 23, and he'll look like a star. But with having no shot selection, no proper shot selection, this is the inconsistencies that can happen in your game. And it's so frustrating to watch because we all know how talented RJ is. As a Canadian, all I want is to see RJ Barrett succeed, and I mean that's all everybody's wanted for RJ. There's a reason why he was the number 1 player in the 2018 high school class, ahead of Zion, because he's that talented. Right now, he's still an above average two-way player in the NBA, and he's still very close to being in that all-star tier. Like, it's not that far away just some of the inconsistencies in his game need to be weeded out. In my opinion, Deuce McBride is one of the most intriguing young players that the Knicks have to offer. Deuce gets semi-rotational minutes. He's played quite a few games this season, more than last year, but he only gets about 12 minutes a game, so it's kind of hard to gauge where he's at. But one thing's for sure is he's definitely way too good for the G League, and he's shown that he can do it in the NBA at times this year. He definitely has a role for sure. If you've seen Deuce play, you know he's a crazy good defender, and he also has an extremely smooth jump shot, which was showcased in his second season in college. I believe he averaged around 41% from 3, and you can tell with his jump shot that he can really shoot. And there's been times this year where he's been tasked with running the Knicks second unit, and he's done a good job. I remember the game against the Blazers. He played incredible defense, and he was hitting threes left and right, getting people involved. That's the kind of player he can be at the next level. He really reminds me of Tyus Jones, the way that they're both very good defensively, smart with the ball, and can hit threes when they need to. That's the kind of player I look to him being in the future. But for him to blossom into anything, oh my goodness, Tom Thibodeau, please, I beg you, just give him a few more minutes. Just let him show what he can really do. He might get some minutes in the playoffs with his defense. That would be super exciting to see him break out there. I think he can do it. When it comes to Obi Toppin, he's undoubtedly one of the worst wastes of talent in the entire NBA. It's so frustrating to watch him just sit on the bench game after game and not get more than 20 minutes consistently. Toppin in his third season is averaging 7 points and 3 rebounds, shooting 44% from the field and 34% from 3. Unfortunately, with all the talent and skills that Toppin has, he's been forced to be a spot-up three-point shooter for most of his NBA career. Yep, just sitting in the corner jacking up threes. And he's been forced to improve his jump shot, but fortunately he has gradually improved his jump shot, having a career high percentage this year at 34%. Why the Knicks don't involve him in more screen and roll actions with his ridiculous athleticism, only the man upstairs knows. I think the reason why he doesn't get as much playing time as he should is because for Thibodeau, he's not really a great defender despite all his athleticism. The fact is though, despite how bad he might be defensively according to Thibodeau or anybody else, he's way too talented to only be playing 20 minutes a game in the NBA. He's already almost 25 years old. It feels like time has just gone like that and not really a lot has happened to him. It seems like he needs to move elsewhere for him to improve his career. And I think if he can move to a team that lets him start and show the kind of athleticism, talent that he has as a screen and roll player, somebody who can hit occasional threes and even handle the ball a little bit, we're going to see that Obi Toppin is one of the most talented young players in the NBA, even if he's 25 years old. Overall, the Knicks have a super exciting young core with guys who, most importantly, can pretty much all play defense. Tibbs is too stubborn and can't bear to see these guys make one mistake, for goodness sake, and that's why some of them aren't getting the opportunity that they should. Regardless, the future looks super bright for the Knicks young bucks, even if they'll have to go somewhere else to showcase to the world how talented they are. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see some more NBA content talking about all kinds of players, teams, and situations in the NBA, then this is the place for you. I'll be putting out at least one piece of NBA content a week and try to pump out more once I'm done school and playoff starts, so if that interests you, consider hitting a like and a sub. And as always, stay rested. See you in the next one.